Welcome back to Otaku Daikun. Daichan here, and you're watching The Waifu Files, a series where we discover and celebrate anime through their lovely ladies. In this episode, we'll be rating the waifu from Kabaneri of the Iron Fortress, one of the most beautiful yet underrated anime of all time. It came out between seasons of Attack on Titan, leading many to think it was just a placeholder. I assure you, that's far from true, and I would choose Kabaneri over AOT any day of the week. What I love most about this show is how it takes the retro style of Haruhiko Mikimoto's artwork and brings it to life with crisp, modern techniques. Plus, it's got Sawano Hiroyuki composing the music, so it's an aesthetic overload. Real quick, before we get started, here's a reminder that you can order one of these Daichan Dakimakura covers from Cuddly Octopus. I drew the art myself, and I'm quite proud of it. If you haven't yet, be sure to check out the full Waifu Files playlist for more exciting episodes. Kabaneri of the Iron Fortress is set in a steampunk Japan, where humanity suffers from an infectious disease that turns people into powerful zombies called kabane. Survivors quarantine in fortified towns and travel between them with armored trains. Our hero is a humble steamsmith named Ikoma, who spends his free time researching how to kill and even cure the kabane infection. When his current home, Aragane Station, is overrun by monsters, a kabane bites him, and to avoid becoming one of them, he strangles himself and seals off the wound. Miraculously, this prevents his brain from being tainted. This results in him being a kabaneri, maintaining his humanity while wielding the kabane's immense strength. Ikoma and the rest of Aragane's survivors take refuge on a train called the Kotetsujo, banding together to fight for their lives. Our first waifu is Ayame Yomogawa, the eldest daughter of her lineage. The Yomogawa govern Aragane Station, and she steps up as heir when her father is infected during the invasion. She inherits the town's master key needed to operate the Kotetsujo, and she devotes herself to protecting the crew as a diplomatic leader and archery expert. While her father Kensho held down the station with an iron fist, having zero tolerance for the infected, Ayame is more lenient, allowing her to adapt to the idea that kabaneri can help slay other kabane. In fact, she is the first one to offer her own blood to sate Ikuma's cravings, allowing him to save the Kotetsujo, even though its crew mostly feared him. Sadly, her compassion is taken advantage of by more assertive refugees, who arrogantly lead the train straight into a kabane ambush. To defend her leadership, Ayame relies on her devoted bushi, Kurusu Konochi, a man who is always ready to endanger himself for her sake. He is Ayame's closest retainer, granting him the opportunity to see and know her defenseless side. He provides her courage so that she can face the crew with decisive authority. In turn, she's the only one who can take him off guard with an endearing smile. Initially passive, shocked by her father's demise, Ayame steps into a role as a leader the others can trust. Even though she's often horrified by the danger, she nonetheless rises to meet it head-on. It is this combination of kindness and bravery that lets her truly shine. I give her 4 stars. Not only is she lovely, but I would love to have her as my boss. The best girl in this anime is undoubtedly Mume, another kabaneri who protects the train with some of the sickest fight choreography out there. She presents as a capable and confident warrior, but beneath the surface is a young girl tormented by her past. Originally, she was named Hozumi and was an ordinary child living with her mother in Hinomoto Station. Her name held significance, as her mom yearned to feed her lots of rice, even though all the rice fields were decimated by kabane outbreaks. She and her mother could see butterflies gathering around the deceased, a sign that their souls were being guided to the afterlife. Surprisingly, Hozumi's mother died not from the kabane, but from shielding her daughter from a rifle shot. Too afraid to flee, Hozumi was rescued by Biba Amatori, the leader of a kabane hunting squad. Biba convinced Hozumi to defend herself during the attack and rewarded her courage by turning her into a kabaneri. Grateful to him, Hozumi accepted the name Mume and went on to serve as his claw. She idolizes Biba, adopting his ruthless motto that the weak die and the strong survive. Those who refuse to fight are destined to perish from aggressors, and to serve as an example, Biba slays anyone who questions his title as liberator. Following along, Mume accepts his will blindly, naive to the fact that Biba actually plans to harness the Kabane and use them to claim the throne of Kongo Kaku, allowing innocent people to die for his selfish gain. He grooms Mume's loyalty, treating her like an adoptive sister, when in truth, she is expendable. At first, Mume's participation on the Kotetsujo is only a means of reaching Kongo Kaku. On the journey, she meets Ikuma and trains him for battle. Despite her impressive speed and strength, unleashing her restraint can quickly fatigue her. Thus, she only attacks in short bursts, sleeping in between to regain her energy. This also staves off her bloodlust to an extent. Should she ever go too long without drinking blood, she will transform into a full-on Kabane. In her vulnerable moments, she relies on Ikuma to protect her. Thanks to him, she learns to laugh and play again, resolving to use her strength to save the weak rather than oppress them. By journey's end, she falls in love with Ikuma, who wishes to let her live as Hozumi again, or rather, to turn her back into an ordinary human. Tragically, Mume's fidelity to Biba gets in the way, as she continues to be strung along for a violent coup against the shogunate. When she dares question him, he forcibly brainwashes her and evolves her into a fused colony. More specifically, she becomes the core of a massive beast made from Kabane corpses. With Ikuma's help, she breaks free from this colony and steadies her resolve to end Biba's rampage. Mume never does become human, but instead balances her fighting with a newfound happiness. Until the Kabane are finally put down, she continues to protect her loved ones and adorably makes her love for Ikuma known. She's just the best. I give Mume the full 5 stars. She's yet another of my all-time favorite anime characters. When Ikuma first meets Mume, he thinks back to his younger sister Hatsune. The two grew up as children in Hinomoto, exchanging beautiful turquoise rocks as good luck charms. Their bliss was ruined when Kabane invaded the station and bit Hatsune. Afraid, Ikuma left her behind in search of help, only to come up empty. Either way, it was too late. Hatsune was already becoming one of the infected, and to put her out of her misery, Ikuma detonated her core with a suicide bag. Ikuma initially views Mume as a second sister, a new chance to protect what he lost, but she makes it abundantly clear that's not the kind of relationship she's after. Luckily, he comes around, or probably will with time. We don't get to see much of her, but I'll give Hatsune 3 stars. You can tell she's a wonderful person from flashbacks. Next up is Yukina, an apprentice in training who volunteers to mend the Kotetsujo after its main engineers are killed in the outbreak. Well, nothing beats on-site experience, and Yukina demonstrates herself as plenty reliable. Most of the time, she's glued to the bridge or busy repairing the train, but she's actually quite kind and caring beneath her stoic exterior. Beneath her uniform, however, is a sick set of abs, revealing her to be a total muscle babe. Whether she scored these gains on the job or in preparation for it, Yukina's not against pumping her guns when the Kotetsujo needs to start or stop on a moment's notice. It's thanks to her impressive maneuvers that she and the crew make it out alive on numerous occasions. It goes without saying, but I also give her 5 stars, yet another midriff engineer for the record. Steamsmiths play an important role maintaining the trains, and none of them go the extra mile quite like Kajika. She's one of Ikuma's friends, knowing him and their mutual buddy Takumi before Aragane gets invaded. During the evacuation, she takes on a nurturing role, caring for the injured, distributing rations, and looking after orphaned children. Figuratively, she is the crew's heart, helping to maintain order and comfort in the face of tragedy. She may not fight, but her contributions are just as valuable, given that humanity's future is doomed without its precious children. Between stations, she is a ruthless shopper who negotiates hard for all the supplies needed by the crew. Kajika also helps Mume rediscover being an ordinary girl, forming a lasting friendship together. I give her 3 stars. She's a delightful addition to a heartfelt story. Now, I might be padding the numbers a bit here, but there's one woman who deserves at least some credit too. Shino is one of the evacuees from Aragane along with her unborn child. When Kajika sneaks her an extra ration for the baby, Shino is touched. Hers is a tragic tale, though. Unbeknownst to the rest of the crew, Shino was bitten by a Kabane and is on the verge of turning. She hopes that she can last long enough to safely deliver her child, but her wishful thinking comes to an end when she loses her mind, forcing Mume to put her down. I give her 2 stars. She admirably held out for her child, and even if she failed, it's still impressive. Among Biba's hunters, there is one other female Kabaneri, a woman named Horobi. Her backstory is never explored, but it's safe to say she was probably saved by Biba in a manner similar to Mume. The 2 girls form a solid team when taking out the Kabane threat. Unlike Mume, however, it seems Horobi is fully aware of Biba's grand scheme and is willing to support him in any way possible. She is the first one to receive an injection, turning her into a hybrid colony. Biba's research into the Kabane was ongoing, and this initial injection was flawed. Thus, after Horobi's rampage, the colony breaks down and her restraints prove unable to contain her infection. The moment a berserk Horobi turns on the other hunters, Biba runs her through without remorse. I also give her 2 stars. She does a good job demonstrating just how cruel and uncaring Biba is, putting a dent in Mume's naive adoration of him. Kabaneri of the Iron Fortress, The Battle of Unato, is an OVA that introduces Kageyuki Komai, a lord who becomes a Kabaneri while defending his station. His precious daughter Miyuki was shot by Bushi, who mistook him for a rabid Kabane. After taking his revenge on the soldiers, Kageyuki preserved Miyuki by biting and turning her into a colony core, or Nue. The 2 of them remain sheltered in Unato Castle, and over time, Kageyuki succumbs to his hatred. Reluctantly, the Kotetsujo's crew steps in to put Kageyuki and Miyuki out of their misery. Even though Miyuki's cute, she's just a child, so I give her a platonic 2 stars. Still, she deserves a shout-out regardless. Our last waifu comes from the Kabaneri mobile game, Ran Hajimaru Michiato. By default, I want to avoid mobile spin-offs on this series, and while this game technically introduces at least 4 new waifu I'd otherwise ignore, this girl Haya here is just too cute to pass up. It's my show, damn it, and I'll do what I want. Haya happens to be an orphan from Katsuki Station and has been close friends with the game's protagonist Kaname from childhood. She's full of energy, encouraging others by taking on an older sister role. Honestly, it's sad how obscure this game is, and how little information I can find. Regardless, I love Haya's design, and give her an honorary 5 stars. I just know that if she were in the main anime, she would be one of my favorite characters. With that, I've covered another 9 waifu. If you've yet to see Kabaneri of the Iron Fortress, and have any reservations about doing so, I beg you to toss them to the wind. Hopefully, this video has inspired you. A lot of AniTubers gave it a hard time back when it released, and I think they're all full of shit. As usual, these ratings are totally subjective. Go ahead and agree with or debate me in the comments below. See you next time!
Thanks for watching.
If you enjoy this channel, help us grow by liking, commenting, sharing the video, subscribing to Otaku Daikun, and
most of all, smashing that notification bell so you don't miss out on all our anime lore, discussions, and Let's Play content.
You can support us directly through Patreon, Subscribestar, or a YouTube membership, all of which come with benefits like spicy exclusive vids and early access.
As always, celebrate your fandom. I want to give a special shout out to all my $10 and up supporters. VideoGamer75, Dante Pendragon, Stephen Elak, Samuel Gersten, The Nonchalant Ostrich, Otaku Mom, Jens Bauman, Mystic Samurai 1983, Lord Ormagoden, Freebrick, Alexis Yukio Gomez Yamato, Link Pendrago, Observer Bellis, James Hewitt, Uncanny EXP, Zamas Autonomous, Scout, Yuki Eidos, Crow Kalem, Saul Soto, Tristan Riggin, Major, Caitlin P., Sogai CH, Vladimir Rovna, The Taz 96, Jonathan Padua, Kengo X77, Hersha of E-Rated Hands, Alester Bernadotte, and Akakaze Yume. Thank you all so much.